Welcome to the 5th weekly Greater Brisbane update here on the Brisbane Channel. This week we have details of police blitzes on both motorists and active transport users, delays to planning for the metro bus expansion, money you may be able to claim from local and state governments, and updates from each of the 5 Greater Brisbane LGAs, including new bus routes, Olympic delays, snakebite increases, and much more. This video is sponsored by YB Painting Services, and more on their 10% discount later. Let's get updated. The first update is a big one. Details of progress with the development of Brisbane's metro bus expansion have now been released, and some now doubt the likelihood that the expansions can be completed by the Olympic Games in 2032. The expansion would see metro bus routes extended to Springwood, Capalaba, Castledine and the airport, and would facilitate much smoother transportation of people around the city during and after the Olympic and Paralympic Games. But on Friday, Jared Cassidy, leader of the opposition in Brisbane City Council, revealed that despite council receiving $50 million of funding from the federal government for a business case 12 months ago, the invitation for expressions of interest to conduct the business case weren't put out until January 19 this year, with the aim of starting the business case on the 1st of June. On top of that, the business case is expected to be completed within 24 months, that is by June 2028. That's just the business case that needs to be completed to even secure approval to begin design and construction, leaving 4 years for 22 new stops to be built and the 4 routes connecting them, when the 19 stops and 2 routes we currently have took 8 years on a route that already included large sections of existing busway. I wanted to filter out all the political stuff and get to the facts of where things are at and where people stand. While Labor were initially against the Metro bus network, with their Lord Mayor candidate in the last council election, Tracy Price, outright opposing any expansions.
So you'll be opposing any expansion of the Metro project?
Correct.
The opposition have come around to it and do now support the extensions. One key criticism the opposition leader has is the time it has taken to even open up expressions of interest for the business case.
And 12 months ago, he got $50 million from the federal Labor government to deliver a rapid business case to see how feasible these metro expansions were. And we find out today that the EOI for that business case was only issued last week, won't commence until June this year, and may not wrap up until the middle of 2028.
So I put the question to the LNP majority what they had been doing for the last 12 months. Here's their spokesperson's response. We've already undertaken significant work over the past year, including planning work on the Northern Depot, investigations into all 4 metro expansion routes, engaging with industry and other levels of government. In addition to the rollout of the first 2 stages of Brisbane Metro and the biggest boost to bus services in more than a decade through Brisbane's new bus network, all of which will inform the business case process. They added that the expansion plan also includes options that can be progressed quickly regardless of the status of the business case, like the Springwood connection. I'll have the full press conference with Councillor Cassidy, the official documents that outline Council's timeline, plus my email exchanges with Brisbane City Council uploaded and available for channel members at insider level and above within the next 2 days, so you can take a look at those and make your own mind up on the matter. But Brisbane City Council is not the only Greater Brisbane LGA where councillors have concerns about everything being in place by the time the Olympics arrive. In the Redlands, Mayor Joss Mitchell has admitted that Redlands City Council is behind the ball in its preparations for the Olympic and Paralympic Games. The 11-member Redlands Coast 2032 Legacy Working Group was set up in early 2022 to ensure a lasting legacy from investment in the event. The group only met 3 times for 2 formal meetings and 1 workshop, all in 2023, then not again until November of 2025. The Mayor isn't the only one who's concerned. Council's General Manager of Infrastructure and Operations points out that other councils have staff whose sole role is to work on Olympics preparation. The Sunshine Coast Council has 3 full-time staff dedicated to the task, and Brisbane and Gold Coast councils have even larger teams, while Redlands City Council doesn't even have 1. Instead, people are contributing in addition to their existing responsibilities. The Redlands will host the canoe slalom events in their yet-to-be-started Redland Whitewater Centre. While the state government is responsible for key venues, a lot of additional infrastructure that can serve the games and communities into the future are up to the councils to organise. It seems we're getting to the time when people may start getting nervous about just how likely those legacy outcomes actually are to eventuate. Figures have been released from a police blitz on motorists over the Christmas holiday period called Operation Mistletoe. In all, people were charged for over 32,100 traffic offences across Queensland, including 16,000 speeding offences, 300 seatbelt offences, 200 distracted driving offences, 1,800 drink driving and 1,500 drug driving offences. On top of that, a parallel operation called Operation X-Ray Surety, launched in November, targeted dangerous and illegal e-mobility behaviour. Of the 2,794 fines issued, 2,100 were for failing to wear a helmet, 200 were for riding on prohibited roads, and 80 were for speeding. If you're not sure what the rules and fines are, you can check out this video that I made earlier. On top of the fines issued, 142 non-compliant e-mobility vehicles were also seized. Let's pivot from government taking money from Queensland residents to how you can take some back from the government at various levels. First up, Brisbane City Council have announced their Brisbane Towards 32 program, which will provide grants of up to $10,000 for up to 18 high-performance athletes to cover the rising costs of training, competition, equipment, coaching and travel. The program, which is funded by Council with their contribution matched by corporate donors, is focused on preparing young sporting stars to represent Australia at future Olympic and Paralympic Games. For those of you that are budding elite athletes, probably most viewers of the Brisbane Channel, you can visit AussieAthleteFund.com. I've put a link in the video description. The next two are for parents of school-aged children. Firstly, the next round of play-on vouchers opened on the 29th of January. Queensland families can apply for one $200 voucher for each child aged 5 to 17, which can be used towards membership, registration or participation with registered sporting clubs. And secondly, with the start of a new school year, every student in primary school is getting a $100 credit on their school account, courtesy of the state government as well, with their Back to School Boost program. This is for students in state Catholic and independent schools. We'll keep the good news going as we hop around the 5 Greater Brisbane LGAs, starting in Logan, where changes that will improve the bus network have been announced. From Monday the 23rd of February, these bus routes will see changes that should deliver more frequent trips and improved access to key local destinations. Changes include extra services added, including the new 562 and 563 routes, which will run Sunday services for the first time, and Route 580 extended to service Meadowbrook to facilitate direct connection with Griffith University's Logan campus, Logan Hospital and Logan Lee TAFE. Bars Scrub will also have direct access to public transport for the first time, with the 563 servicing 4 new stops. But some stops have been removed, as well as the 564 and 568 routes, which will now be served by the 562 and 563. You can see the full details on the TransLink site that I've linked in the video description. The changes will be assessed in the context of the wider Greater Brisbane area in the upcoming video on the region's bus network, so keep your eye out for that one around March on the Brisbane Channel. Now a quick shout out to the sponsor of this video and long-time supporter of the channel, YB Painting Services. If you're looking for someone to do an exceptional job on painting for your home or business, I can't recommend YB highly enough. They recently won 2 first and 3 second place awards in 5 different categories of the Master Painters Australia Queensland Awards for 2025, and when you see their professionalism and the quality of their workmanship, it's no surprise. With fixed pricing and a 5-year warranty on all their work, you can be sure there'll be no unpleasant surprises. Claim your 10% discount by scanning this QR code or the link in the video description. Now to the Brisbane LGA, and the good news continues with the announcement that the Riverwalk will reopen in the first half of February. The 256-metre section will reconnect the Riverside path from Adelaide to Charlotte Streets that has been closed since the demolition of the Eagle Street Pier restaurants in early 2023. The area is being redeveloped by Dexus with plans for Waterfront Brisbane, a multi-billion-dollar development which will include 2 office towers, shops, restaurants and public space. The Riverwalk was originally expected to reopen this month, but weather and construction complexities pushed things back a little. Completion of the larger project has moved from expected completion in 2027 to early 2028, and most recently that has been pushed even further back to late 2028. Of course, I'll keep you updated here on the Brisbane Channel as things progress. You've probably seen the signs that display driver speeds and say slow for Sam. Well, SAM stands for Speed Awareness Monitor, and Brisbane has released figures on the 287 monitors across the city and how they have had an impact on driver speeds. Between April and September last year, over 82 million vehicles were recorded, and about half of them adjusted their speeds to bring it back under the limit due to the monitors. During that period, drivers on Fraser's Road, Ashgrove, improved the most, with average speeds dropping by 9 km per hour in a 50 zone. Drivers travelling along Leopard Street, Kangaroo Point were the best at sticking to the speed limit, with 1.66 million vehicles driving at or below the school zone speed limit, although that figure is kind of meaningless without knowing the total number of vehicles as well. The worst offender was captured on Nudgee Road in Toondah, recording a top speed of 187 kilometres in a 60 zone. The speed awareness monitors are part of a broader program including the 40 km per hour school zones and Council's active school travel program, which aims to facilitate and encourage safe walking and riding to school for students. If you find this video helpful or interesting, you can say thanks by giving the video a like, sharing it, and buying me a coffee or two. You can also support the channel as a member, which gets you access to extra content and other perks. Thanks to everyone who has done any of those things. You literally keep the channel running. Psst, want to buy a bronze plaque? Across Brisbane, historical bronze plaques are disappearing. Last year, Council reported a 140% increase in theft of the plaques year on year, with even more reported to be going missing from non-council sites. While there's no verified cause for the thefts, there is known to be an established black market in scrap metal, and this is what the vanishing plaques are being attributed to. While legitimate recyclers would not accept the plaques for fear of being charged with receiving stolen goods, those operating illegally are not so picky. Moving to Ipswich, where southeast Queensland's only free zoo, the Ipswich Nature Centre, is set to undergo major upgrades over the course of 2026. The zoo hosts around 160,000 visitors each year and features iconic native animals such as snakes, quolls, wallabies, kangaroos, birds, lizards, turtles, and dingoes. Improvements will include parts of the boardwalk being rebuilt with more durable composite material and the addition of a new back-of-house facility supporting animal husbandry and improved biosecurity activities. The design will also provide a window for the public to get a glimpse at the behind-the-scenes work as it's being undertaken. Construction is set to begin in a matter of weeks and will continue in stages until completion in December. Here's details of the expected disruptions over the 3 stages of the project. While you may enjoy seeing venomous snakes in Ipswich's Nature Centre, they're not so welcome around our pets. Bites from the world's second most venomous snake, the eastern brown snake, have been rising for pets across Ripley and surrounding suburbs. The increase is put down to warmer weather and developments increasingly encroaching on the snake's natural habitat. As pets are often bitten when investigating long grass, dense bushes or garden beds, where snakes often seek shelter, pet owners are urged to be more vigilant, to keep grass trimmed and to remove piles of timber or debris, keep bird enclosures clean, and also to remove pet food left outside, as this can attract rodents, which in turn attract snakes. One thing that will help is the extra mowing crews that have now hit the ground across Ipswich, with 9 new maintenance contractors and their crews boosting the council's mowing capacity. On top of the 8,500 hectares of parkland managed by council and pathways, median strips, roundabouts and road islands, over 500,000 square metres of new green space have been added through their voluntary home buyback scheme. The $60 million contract for expanded services will run for the next 4.5 years, and Council has also invested in 52 new and 33 replacement mowers, tractors, slashers, blowers, and trailers. Residents of Moreton Bay can expect to see some big changes in their region in the coming years. Moreton Bay City Council has resolved to scrap the 2016 planning scheme, which is the framework that guides how the area develops, and implement a new one. The new planning scheme will help Council harness population growth now and into the future. As a guide for what to expect, they've said, "We're creating a polycentric city where our residents can choose a home for every stage of life, one that gives them more opportunities to work closer to home and has the infrastructure, services and amenities we all need." I do have a video in the works unpacking some of their plans for the next decade or two, and I'm sure a lot of that will align with what we'll see in the new city plan. If you've subscribed but don't have all notifications enabled, that's the little bell next to the subscribe button, there's a good chance you'll miss the video when it does come out. As of late, YouTube hasn't been as likely to recommend this channel's midweek videos in your feed. So if you want to make sure you don't miss any videos as I put more out this year, I really recommend hitting that bell and selecting all. You may have seen the video about plans for Infinity Planet at Elimbah in Moreton Bay that I put out recently. Well, this week, 181 hectares of land with space for 1,400 residential lots has been purchased by Singaporean developer Heap Land in Elimbah. The first 288 lots already have development approval, and word is Heap Land is set to make a quick start to development. Along with residential zoning, more than 25 hectares is zoned for mixed industry and business land uses, including an approved 4-hectare service site centre, as well as a 26.3-hectare general industrial allocation. We'll now circle back to the Redlands with an update on the controversial Toondah development. After much pushback during community consultation stages, the developer Walker Corporation have proposed a scaled-back version of the development, which includes a modernised harbour, up to 900 residential dwellings, 50% more free public parking, retail spaces and community-focused improvements such as boardwalks and green spaces. Importantly, the proposal comes with the promise of fully preserving G.J. Walter Park, which was one of the key areas of contention with the former plans. The plans are now in the hands of the state government for decisions on the planning pathway and what environmental assessments are required. That's all the updates for the 5 LGAs, and I'd like to use the My 2 Cents segment to ask for your help on something. As just one person trying to run everything for this channel, I'm somewhat limited in how much time I can spend keeping up with what's happening right across the entirety of Greater Brisbane. But I feel that the channel has a massive but largely untapped resource, and that is you, the community of viewers, subscribers and members. Those of you currently living in Greater Brisbane are spread right across the area and also have different professional backgrounds as well as different interests. And many of you probably know about things that this community would be interested in knowing about. So I'd really love to hear from you on things that might be worth covering here on the channel. Please don't hesitate to email me, adam@thebrizzychannel.com, anytime you come across something interesting, weird, or otherwise worth knowing about. And you can contribute anonymously if you like. While I can't guarantee it will become a video on the channel, although it may, the insight you can provide on a truly local level can only help me make this channel even better, more local and more diverse. So thanks in advance, and I can't wait to hear from you. See ya.